Boys and girls, in this tutorial, you're going to learn how to work with strings in JavaScript better than Bruce Lee knows martial arts. So let me get started here. What I have here is just an empty file with just one variable, which is console out, which just helps me print out stuff more easily, more quickly, because I now I just write CL instead of console out. And what we're going to learn is basically all the methods you can use on strings, like include. We're going to be able to see how if a string starts with something or ends with something, how to trim a string, how to put it to lowercase, etc. Or actually, let me just first of all teach you two main ways you can create a string. And first of which is with an object. First, I'm going to use the const keyword to create my string object. And then to create it, you just need to use the new keyword, followed up with string and these parentheses. Inside of those, you just put double quotes like this to basically you just pass the value of your strings here. Let's just say some string, could be anything. Now if I try to console out the type of this string object, and by the way, this is a string object and you'll see why in a sec. If I run my code, I'll see an object here. This is of type object and not of type string. But in most cases you remove this, or you not write this at all and just create string like this. And if I now print out, I get string. So this is of type string. I just create this line and show you the length. Actually, there's a mistake here. Length is not a method, but just a variable, a property you can use on string. If I console out, actually, let me just write. Let's rename this to S and then say dot length. And I don't spell length like this, but like this. And if I now print this x.length, by the way, length is just a property on this string variable I have. If I print out this, I get 10 because length gives us just the length or how many number of characters I have in a string. And I have 10, just like my grades in college. So the next I'm going to show you how you can concatenate strings, or how you can print out multiple strings. Let's say I want to print console out this string, and I want to bam add another one, and I can concatenate them just like this with the plus sign. And I'm just adding another with double quotes like this, and I say another one. And now if I run this code, I get printed out because I use console out. I print out some string, basically the value of this variable s, and then another string. Remember, I added space here. That's why That's why I get this space printed out here. The next thing you need to know is the slice method. And the slice method basically gets us part of a string. To demonstrate this, I'm going to again console out, and I'm going to use the same string, and I'm going to say dot slice. And how does this method work? Basically, if you can see here, the slice method takes in two parameters, first of which, and they're both optional. It looks like because they have question marks, and this first is the start from where you would like to slice the string, and the end. Let's just use the standard 2 and 4. Now if I whoops, not this. If I do note, I get me. Why did I get me? Because this starts in you get the first character that you slice basically is on the second index, so it starts at the second index. So this is actually, let me zoom in a little bit. The S is with 0th index, the O is with 1, and M is 2. And the fourth, actually, in the slice of string starts with 2 and ends within the 4th index without including the 4th. So I get the character M on my as my first string and our character, and I get E as my second, which is on the 3rd index, and I don't get the 4th. That's important to remember. I'll just leave this here. Then the split methods. So this split method splits a string in array of substring. So let's see how does this work. For this, I'm going to again console out and say s.split, and this, let's see what does this take. And bam, expected but got 0. Let's just say this, and let me add another comma here, or let's add in 2 commas, and you see why in a second. Now basically, if you have a string that looks something like this, or let me just say 1, and here I put in 2 and 3. If I have these 3 numbers but in a string for whatever reason, and I have separated them with comma, I can put them in an array of substring. And that's basically what this split function does. It puts my string it converts it into an array of substrings. Like this. If I now press clear, then do note, I get 1, 2, and 3 in an array, which is basically a string array. And how did the function know that this should be the first element, the 2 should be the the second, and 3 should be the third, because they're separated with this comma. And I specified that when I called the function split. So okay, that was easy. I'll just do this like this, so I don't print anything. These are very basic. Just if, let's say, I have some string in caps like this, and I use s.to lowercase, then I'll get some string into lowercase. That's another method you can use on strings. The next method, and basically to uppercase does the same thing. Some, almost forgot that. Some string, and if I call now to uppercase, and if I of course print out the result, call node, get something all in uppercase. Now I'm going to show you the string method. And why would you use string? If you, let's say, have some empty spaces here, or maybe even here, string method, what it does is just cuts the space and it gives you just the string without those empty spaces on the left and on the right. So if I console out the string dot string, it removes the leading and trailing white space and line terminated characters. So if I now do note, I get something without the empty space. You probably, you can see this, but you just need to do it. So how do you get specific characters? The next thing. Let's say I have again this some string, But let's say I want to get this character, the E. Then I can use the char add. And I need to do console s dot char add. And the E was on the third index, so if I run this code, I get E. The next thing is index of. So if I'm here, I have only one E, and now if I, let's say, want to get the index of that E, I need to call this index of method. So I console string dot index of, and I say 3 because I want to know the index of 3. Oh, whoops, I say E because I want to know the index of the letter E. When I run now, I get 3. I stop there a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to cover, this starts with and ends with methods. If I now say do console, and these return true, both of them. I mean, they're Boolean functions, so they either return true or false. And now, if let's say I do s dot starts with, and I say sum, I give it the string parameter of sum. Now, if I print out this code, I get true because we have some string and the string starts with the word sum. If I say something else, then I get false. The same applies with the end with method. And the last method is the include method, which is it's very similar to the start with, but it's if the string basically includes something, and let me just do s dot include, and if I say sum, then I should get includes. If I get sum, then I get true. If I say something else, I get false. And it's not include but includes. That's a mistake on my part. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe.